Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time you're watching this, but welcome to the Engage Life. My name is Brett. This is Desiree, and we're so excited that you're along with us for this ride. Now, here's what we're doing. We're doing something different. We're doing 4 weeks. That's right, 4 weeks straight, and we're going to walk through our 21 days of prayer. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to join us either at engagechurch.ca or weka.com. Across one of our Engage Network churches, we are doing 21 days of prayer. And alongside that, we've got this incredible discussions that we're going to be doing in our groups, in groups just like you're in right now. Now, if you don't yet have a group, we'd love to hook you up with the group, and we will hook you up with that information. If you just click the link, we'll get you right there to get you signed up and into a group. And you can have a watch party of your own if you want. We would love for you to be on the journey with us. We are in the midst of a series called Eyes to See. This is the Engage Life. Let's go. So as a part of our journey, we've also got this amazing playlist that you are curating, that you put together to go alongside 21 days of prayer. And that's amazing. And each one of our episodes here are actually named after a song or inspired by a song on that playlist. Our first song is Wonder by Hillsong United. And I just love the idea of trying to reset the lens or the eyes through which we look, how we view the world. It's that idea of childlike faith.
Yeah. So we are looking at a new year, new lens, and how we see things. And I mean, we've got 2 boys, and it feels like anything that we do with them, any adventure that we take, any trip that we take, I feel like every time we plan something to do with them, like an activity or whatever, I have this vision in my head and in my mind of what that's going to look like for them and what they need to see and experience to make this just the most amazing thing.
Right.
And I feel like every time I do that, my whole plan always gets thwarted because they just have a way of finding joy in the simplest things.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we went to Hawaii a
little
while back, and we're taking this drive up this mountain.
Waimea Canyon.
And all I can think is, let's get to the top. They're going to be so amazed and mesmerized.
It's like the Grand Canyon of Hawaii.
They're just going to be so amazed, and they're going to love it, and it's going to be great, and we're going to have this great family time. And they liked it, but their favorite part of that entire trip was on the drive down. This canyon on the side of the road has tons of patches of red dirt. And all they wanted to do was take off their shoes and play in the red dirt.
That's it.
Like, forget the canyon, forget the views, forget the drive. All they wanted to do was play in dirt.
Forget 9 hours of flight time. Forget the Ford GT Mustang that we were driving, Ford Mustang GT that we were driving.
That was for you.
That was for me.
That was
Forget
not for
all
them.
those things. Just take off your shoes and play in the red dirt.
They love the red
dirt.
And it was just this simple thing, and they just saw the entire experience from an entirely different perspective. And it was so simple, and it brought such joy.
We went to the Christmas market not that long ago here in Edmonton, downtown Edmonton. So we went through it and it was fine. And so we walked through the lights, and they go through this light tunnel. And then we come out to Jasper Ave.
And it's there's dark.
Yeah, it's dark. And there's like the Telus Park beside the Union Bank Inn. And there's just a big rock in the middle of this playground.
Just a giant rock.
And they just start climbing on the rock. Like, we literally go to a Christmas market. We last 14 minutes at most.
Didn't go see Santa.
Nothing.
Didn't do any of the kid things.
None of the kid things. They just played on a rock for 17 minutes. And I think about childlike faith, and I think about the lens that we look through. How often do we make our lives so complicated because we're looking for this big outcome, we're looking for this big moment, we're looking for this big show, like the big wow me moment, and we miss out on the amazing things. And I would go as far as to say that we miss out on the things that God is doing at times because we're so obsessed with this big splash of this big bang that we just miss the simple things of what God's doing. So I guess what I'm saying is, what lens are you looking at life through? How do you view life? How do you view what's next? How do you view what God is doing in your life? When we look at our lives, are we looking through the lens of, oh, it's never enough, it never adds up, or I'm never enough, or I'll never add up? Or do we look at it with childlike wonder that says, man, this is incredible, this is amazing. I think I would love to get some of that back. Like, we took this family vacation, and we were stopping overnight in Valemont, British Columbia, which is beautiful, but let me tell you, there's not much there. And
No.
our boys played in a parking lot full of gravel and dirt and rocks, because all you need is dirt. And what we're learning is all you need is dirt,
Just dirt.
and rocks to be happy. But everything was an adventure. Everything was a moment. I think sometimes we're so focused on our destination that we forget that life following Jesus is not linear. It's not point A to point B to point C. It's not Google Maps. You just go from here to there. In fact, I would be so bold to say that we trust Google Maps more than we trust Jesus, right? Because you put it in your address, your direction, and you will blindly follow. Turn left here, turn right. Where are you calculating? You know, it's like turn left here, turn right. We just go wherever it tells us to go. Like I will now trust it. If it's going to shortcut me through a neighborhood, if it's going to save me 2.47 minutes, I'm going to take that route wherever it goes.
Unquestioned.
Unquestioned. You know, I'm going to be like Michael Scott and drive from the office, if you know what I'm talking about. Drive right into a lake because my GPS told me to turn right there. But why is it that we can trust our GPS, we can trust Google Maps more than we can trust Jesus? Because sometimes we're like, wow, are you sure that we should do this? Are you sure that I should move in this direction? Are you sure that we should make that change? Are you sure that we should stay right where we are? Are you sure that we could be contented here? Like, we trust a spectacle more than we trust the firm, steady, faithful voice of Jesus, who says, I will never leave you. I'll never forsake you. I don't know about you, but as we were praying about this, we started talking about Romans 15, and I just can't help but shake it. Romans 15:13 says this: I pray that God, the source of hope, will fill you completely with joy and peace because you trust in him. Then you will overflow with confident hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. I wonder what our lives might look like if we were living with this confident hope in the power of Jesus.
And I think too, we're kicking off the new year and we're talking about hope and how we see things and our vision. And I think, you know, just to talk about the lens of how we look at things and kind of going back to that childlike faith and how we look at things. And as I was thinking about this, I thought back to Acts chapter 9 where the Apostle Paul has this encounter. He is like as far away from being a Jesus follower.
Because he's literally murdering Christians.
Yeah, as far away as he could possibly be. And he's looking through a very specific lens. And then he has this encounter in the middle of a road with Jesus. He like comes face to face with this bright light of Christ. And suddenly he goes blind. So he has this like warped lens. He encounters Jesus. Jesus blinds him. So he has no lens, no filter, no way to see things for 3 days, comes out of it, meets up with this guy named Ananias, gets prayed over, and then it says something like scales fell off of his eyes. And to me, I found that so interesting because coming into a new year, we do things like we do resolutions, we do challenges, we set goals, we have vision boards. Like that's the new thing right now is doing a vision board, which I think is awesome,
Marie
by
Kondo
the way.
It, throw things out.
Or that. And it's like this shedding off of the old. And it made me ask the question, what lens have we taken on that needs to be shed in this new year so that we can look through things with this childlike faith and hope and joy, like we were talking about earlier, and just get rid of and shed all the old stuff that's keeping us from following Jesus and taking us where he wants us to go.
Right. So we've got two questions that we're considering. What lens are you looking through? And what lens do you need to shed this year? That's our question. So we're going to turn it back over to you, turn it back over to your group, dive into the text that's included, Romans 15. What grabs you? What's God doing in your heart? But what lens needs to be shed this year? Maybe it's a lens that says, I'm not enough. Maybe it's a lens that says, I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. God doesn't have a plan or purpose for me. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you God has an incredible plan and purpose for you, and he's just getting started with you. It's a new year, and we can't wait to see what God does in 2020.